Pokopia has been out for a bit, but there are still a ton of mind-blowing things in the game itself. Some might be mind-blowing where you thought, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe I missed that the entire time, while other things are just mind-blowing in the sense of, whoa, I can't believe this is in the game. So in this video, we'll be going over a bunch of mind-blowing things in Pokopia, starting with the first one. Did you know that you can go up to walls, use leafage on them, and you can cause vines to spawn? It's a really good trick if you want to decorate, or if you just want to make a pathway up. Something mind-blowing about vines is you can actually make hanging vines yourselves. Here's a quick way in order to do it. First, build up an entire stack of blocks where vines can grow off of. Then build another stack of blocks where you can climb up yourself. Then what you want to do is go all the way to the top and break all the blocks underneath the top block that has the initial vines. Then go all the way back up and do leafage, and you'll get this really cool hanging vine block. So if you're an aesthetic person, this will be great for you. One of the most mind-blowing things that you could do is create a high-speed waterfall that you could launch yourself off of. First, build a really tall waterfall as high as you can go. Second, you're going to want to use surf and then approach the waterfall and then press the button that will allow you to go all the way up using waterfall. You only unlock this if you have completed the Gyarados quest in the Sparkling Skylands in order to unlock that ability. Then with that waterfall, you'll go all the way up and you could swap over to Dragonite and then glide beautifully into the air as far as you can go. It's a lot more fun than having to always switch to Magnemite to get around. Water wheels normally work on water, but did you know that they actually also work with lava? And it doesn't get burned down. Did you know that Diglett, surprisingly, even though this is kind of cursed, can actually ride the carts? Speaking about carts, did you know that Carcoal actually acts as its own cart when you're riding on the tracks? It's actually kind of cute, and it's a really mind-blowing detail that the devs added into the game. Here's a little min-maxing trick when it comes to trees. Normally when you headbutt a tree, you'll normally get 3 berries that drop from it. But here's a little min-max trick. If you hold and release at the right timing, you'll get sparkles and the drop amount will actually increase to 4 instead of 3. Did you know that you can harvest veggies with cut and it won't harm the plant? Now this might not be mind-blowing for a lot of people, but it might be mind-blowing for some. Normally you think if you use cut on vegetables, you'd break all the plants, but actually you can harvest all your veggies nice and safe. And if you use the enhanced cut that you get from food, well, then you can just cut a bunch of them faster with no damage to the actual vegetable plant themselves. Now, something more mind-blowing is that I actually get invited to try out a bunch of Nintendo and Pokemon games early directly from them, so I can show you guys in a preview. Hitting that subscribe button, like button, turning on notifications helps a lot because I also cover the games and you get a lot of content from me. All right, let's move on to the next mind-blowing thing. The more you play this game, I've noticed that you start turning into the government themselves, because in this game, you can actually have an entire security overview of your entire town and all the Pokemon in it. For this, all you have to do is just go all the way up as high as you can in the sky, just high enough where you can get a good enough view, place a security camera there, and then break all the blocks, and then you can open up your menu, click on the camera, go to your security camera, and you can see everything that's going on in your town. Kind of interesting how a government is forming within the world of Pokopia, and you're monitoring them. Are we the good guys? If you hit environment level 5 in the Sparkling Skylands, you'll unlock the Game Boy recipe for 1,000 life points. But did you know that once you get a Game Boy and place another one next to it, that they'll connect with the link cable? It's actually kind of mind-blowing that the devs put that in the game. Like, this is really old school. Link cables and 2 Game Boys. I miss those days. If you're old enough to remember that in the comments, let me know. Did you know that you can press A on the Ditto loading screen? Normally, Ditto already jumps on the normal loading screen, but it actually jumps again and looks at us when you press A and sometimes closes its eyes. Did you know that there are 2 Pokemon in the game with the specialty called Explode? Well, Voltorb and Electrode can do this, but how exactly does this work? Well, if you complete the story in Rocky Ridges, after you encounter Volcanion, you'll get the recipe for the cannon. And when you craft the cannon and aim it at something, but you have Voltorb or Electrode follow you, they'll jump right in and they'll launch out, exploding a giant chunk of blocks. So this is a great way if you want to clear out some blocks, especially on your pallet town. A really cool way to organize storage is to put a frame on the chest and then put the item on the frame. That way you'll know exactly what chest it is. And something crazy is that you could put a frame in a frame. So I guess that's cool. Whenever you're building a platform, make sure that you're holding down the ZL key so you don't fall down. It's just a great way to build without getting annoyed. Here's something mind-blowing if you're still looking for legendary Pokemon. Now, normally in Dream Islands, we would have to go through all the caves until you find the altar for the legendary Pokemon. But did you know that you can actually just go to Dream Island, open up your Pokédex, and enable filters to show Pokemon that are in the area while turning on the settings to all over here? And then if the legendary Pokemon is present or not, it'll show that Pokemon. And if it's not registered in your dex, like Entei or Suicune, you'll just see 3 question marks, so you already know that legendary Pokemon is on your island. If that doesn't show up, you could just day skip or wait for the next day, come back, open up your Pokédex again, and you can go hunt that legendary Pokemon down. It's actually a really easy way instead of running through the caves every time. If you're specifically looking for a Pokemon in the game, open up your Pokédex, hover over that Pokemon, and then press the plus button. If you talk to a flying or teleport Pokemon, they will take you over to that Pokemon that you're looking for. And if they happen to not be in the game, you'll be then brought to their habitat, and you can use a honey in order to summon them back to that location if you need that Pokemon. Now, this took me over 200 hours to realize you can do this, but you can actually relocate the Pokemon centers from each town and area. Yup, you can actually do that. The PC will still be available while you're moving it, but you can actually move them. How insane is that? Just make sure there's no Pokemon actively inside the Pokemon Center when you're trying to pull this off. Something mind-blowing is that you can walk inside of a Pokemon Center and take all the items that you see inside of there, including these items on the left and right, which are like these Mewtwo tubes with bubbles in it. I think it's pretty cool, and you can take that map. If you're ever looking for seaweed, seashells, or sea glass fragments and you don't want to travel around, a cool trick that you could do is when you're on the Bleak Beach area, find a pile of mud and take a picture of it. Surprisingly, you can actually clone these items and you could turn this into your own farm. Fun fact, did you know that if you rotate your right joystick that you could spin in this game? And if you spin long enough, you'll actually notice that Ditto's face changes into Spinda's face. Here's a little fun, mind-blowing thing that you could do with Magnemite. Let's just say you're out collecting a bunch of ore and run into a situation where you are not able to get any more Pokemetal because you've run out of eating your favorite food, potato steaks. Well, with Magnemite, you can grab those Pokemetal blocks, or you can use the replace mode of Magnemite to get those Pokemetal blocks. In fact, you can do this with almost every block in the game without having to break it. Of course, you still need to break them to get the Pokemetal fragments, but you can just collect a bunch of those and bring them back home. Another broken thing that you could do with Magnemite is this. Normally, when you want to relocate trees, you would cut it down, the seeds would drop, and you would get them and plant them somewhere else. But you can use Magnemite's retrieve item ability to directly get the tree in your inventory instead of the seeds, and just place the tree down just as it is. Normally, you can farm multiple berries in one single headbutt, but if you place 5 trees down in a U shape like this and another 5 of them below in the same position, by headbutting them in the middle tree, you can then farm berries from all trees at once. It's pretty insane how many berries you get. Now, did you know not all steaks in Pokopia are the same? Normally, if you eat a simple hamburger and power up Rock Smash and try to break the Strength Rock, it doesn't break. But if you make the best steak in Pokopia, which is adding a potato to your steak recipe, you'll get a potato hamburger steak that says it'll power up Rock Smash a lot when eaten. And now, when you approach a Strength Rock, you can break it. So this is your sign to start adding potatoes to your steaks. A lot of gamers wasted hundreds of hours watering the dry ground in Pokopia with Water Gun. But did you know all you have to do is learn the ability to suck up water from Paldean Wooper from the Piplup questline in the Bleak Beach? And when you do that and then place down water, this is what happens to the ground. Absolutely mind-blowing. Now, if you're sick of creating messy wired electric poles, or you're tired of having to build windmills or big generators to make electricity, you're gonna love this because there is wireless electricity in the game and also mini generators that have their own power. It's really cool. So let me show you how to do it real quick. If you go behind the Silph Co Towers in the Sparkling Skylands and break the rubble in this area, you'll find the science experiment that is part of the habitat for Porygon, which all you need is that experiment itself, 2 tables, and a computer. Once Porygon shows up, it has a request for you to play music, so you just bring a radio and pop in a CD by it, and you'll get rewarded with the recipe for the wireless power transmitter switch and the wireless power transmitter. But you also need the mini generator to power it all up, so all you have to do is just get your environment to level 6 in these sparkling skylands, and you can purchase the mini generator recipe from the PC here. Now, take a wireless power transmitter and place it by the mini generator for unlimited power, and you can place as many down as you need because you have the crafting recipe for it. Did you know that there is actually an April Fool's event specifically in the game where you can get the inflatable Sudowoodo? All you have to do is answer the quiz questions of Pokemon that have the ... appearing on them, and after completing 3 questions with the right answers, you can collect rewards from the PC. Did you know that if you dig from the side tunnel in this location in the Rocky Ridges, it actually becomes a direct route to the museum over there? Here's a player on Twitter named Rari Homa who actually created an entire tunnel system and cleaned it up, and you have this beautiful clean pathway that leads all the way to the entrance of the museum. Pretty cool, and you should probably do that in your world. Now, a ton of people have been complaining that there's no battling mechanics in the game, but let me show you something really mind-blowing, and that's gonna be the lava battle arena. Yes, all you have to do is just set up a lava square around where you are. You stand in the middle, and you start punching with your friend. Whoever falls into the lava, they lose a point, you gain a point, and that's pretty much how you start to create battle games in here. I'm sure you all can come up with a lot more different formats for this, but this is just a quick example of a mini game that you can create in the game. This is really fun. Now, something mind-blowing was from a Twitter user _mama09_ who posted about using the fog as a boundary in order to create a very ghost Pokemon-like environment, which is absolutely genius. You can see in this little video they put up that the character is walking towards this ghost little mansion they build with graveyards and cemeteries, and the fog of the map, the end of the map, is starting to show up in that proper area, which gives it that really spooky feels. Genius if you're going to be creating a ghost type Pokemon environment in your personal towns. Now, I've been saving this mind-blowing thing for the end of the video, but if you put on the mysterious goggles just like this that you can buy, it's gonna pull up a menu, just loading, give him a second. And you're paying for a Nintendo Switch Online membership, as that's mentioning. You enter this specific code on your screen: 6DXL PD6F. If you enter this code on your screen over here, 6DXLPD6F, it'll bring you to a very special cloud island designed by this lovely person over here, and we will arrive in this lovely island. Now, what is this island? As you can see, just a ton of stuff. Well, this is set up so that you have access to almost every single item in the game. So right over here, you can see that there are event items over here. This is the Sableye event. This is the Hop event items. You have a bunch of these lovely musical notes that you get in the game. You have specific armors like this, the hard items to get because you need certain things like a armor shard, or you need the special strings that you get when you find them in the ground to get any of these armors. You got the April Fool Sudowoodo, and basically you can go around this entire island and see what you need. Look, you can get any of the patterns. Let's say you have a little coffee shop, you have something special, you can grab any of these patterns, you can screenshot them, and then when you go print them out in the Pokemon printer, you're then going to get the exact pattern printed out with the corresponding item. Pretty cool stuff over here. If you're missing any of the fossil items, I know this is not really well explained by a lot of people, but you just have to focus in on that fossil part that you're missing, and you can see like Despot fossil tail, you can see the Despot fossil body and the head. So just make sure you're clicking on the right parts to get that. Like I said, everything here is able to be photographed. These are all the evolution items over here that you get on Pallet Town. It's kind of crazy. What else do we got over here on this island? Because this is my first time coming here, even though I knew about this mind-blowing thing. But oh, we got some grave sites here. Different environment. Wait, these are habitats. Did we just walk into a living habitat? This is the living habitat Dex. I didn't even realize it right now until I saw it, but we are in a habitat Dex right over here. Oh, this is crazy. We have these items over here. Now, over here, they have every single item that you can grow. All the flowers, all the things that you get that can be bloomed here. Look at this. We have all the wildflowers, every single type of color. The Skyland flowers. I didn't even realize there's this many right now because I'm missing some of these myself, most likely. All the cute flowers. We have robust flowers. So if you're missing any of these items, you can just screenshot these and print these out as well, which is pretty nice. These are specifically the bells that you craft later on in the game. I don't know if you can screenshot. Yeah, you can't take a picture of these. They have them here, but these call down Ho-Oh and Lugia. You can bring them. Over here is a very efficient tree farm that we did talk about. This one's kind of broken. And did you know that in the game too, you can take pictures of the rubble? It's kind of insane. We did talk about that earlier in the video with the mud that you can get, but yeah, even the broken ones can show up here. So this island is filled with a ton of things. If you're missing any, come through to this island. You can see habitats, things that you've never even seen before, and items you've never had, and grab them. So huge shout out to this creator for creating this lovely, beautiful island. And yeah, I'm mind blown. I'm mind blown that someone took the time and effort to put this whole thing together. Wait, is that what I think it is? Is that two Pikachus with a heart? Oh my gosh, they're making sprite pixel art. Now that your mind is blown, you should check out this video on your screen right over here. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.